sisters, less than 2 days after voting for the Regulatory Standards Bill, Matua Winston declares he will vote against it. This is what New Zealand First MP Casey Costello said on the third reading of the bill. And I quote, "We support this bill because on the fundamentals, it promotes an open and accountable government that legislates with key principles in mind. The rule of law, efficiency and regulation, property rights, an independent judiciary, and the belief that every New Zealander is equal before the law. And that equality relates to your equality of opportunity, that everyone has that chance to achieve their full potential. So, therefore, we have no hesitation in commending this bill to the House. No hesitation. Her words, none. 48 hours later, Winston is hesitating and has announced that he will repeal the very law he just passed. Is Winston having a senior moment? Has he put his house keys in the fridge? Does he recognise Shane Jones? Blink twice for yes, Winston. When the bill was being passed, New Zealand First had no hesitation. 2 days of being ripped to pieces by his own supporters on social media for capitulating to corporations and allowing them to vet all New Zealand legislation. Suddenly, Winston has a change of mind. Why did we waste millions of dollars pushing through controversial legislation that takes a narrow libertarian view of property rights and puts them above human rights if New Zealand First didn't actually believe in it in the first place? I'd call this schizophrenic and bipolar, but that isn't fair to people with schizophrenia and bipolar. Talking of crazy, Big Shane Jones responded to recreational fishermen protesting over the weekend against his decision to allow commercial fishermen to fish in the Hauraki Gulf while banning recreational fishermen by threatening those recreational fishermen. He said he will strike back if anyone strikes him. What is he, an American aircraft carrier in the Caribbean exercising extrajudicial assassinations? Jonesy, Jonesy, Jonesy! These are recreational fishermen who love fishing so much. They are in an association. Do you have any idea how passionate your average New Zealand bloke needs to be part of a bloody association? We are so laid back as a culture, we're almost horizontal. Men willingly joining together to be in an association is as close as we get to an active militia. These aren't migrant MPs you are shitting on, Shane. These aren't environmentalists you're degrading, Shane. These aren't the NEFs you're threatening to get off the couch, Jonesy boy. These are New Zealand recreational fishermen, and they are as close to ISIS as we get in New Zealand. Oh, Jonesy, you've been sitting on that nice green leather in Parliament too long, Chief. They'll tear you apart, love. Yo, recreational fishermen of New Zealand, the Jonesy has decided to respond to your legitimate concerns about him giving to the fishing industry while taking from you and your ability to feed your family and whānau with threats. I don't want to start any beef here, but he's calling your mamas fat and that they can't catch no fish. Just saying. Just saying. And finally, in this week's War on News, the Minister for Cancer, Casey Costello, says that the recent plummet in global tobacco control rankings from 2nd to 53rd for New Zealand is ridiculous and ludicrous. Really? The Associate Health Minister, who was previously a consultant for big tobacco interests and who was specifically targeted by big tobacco as a New Zealand First political asset to push through $300 million in tobacco subsidies while using underhand methods to hide big tobacco talking points, is claiming the plunge in our global rankings for tobacco control is ridiculous and ludicrous. But she's the reason we went from 2nd in the world to 53rd. Does she understand what the words ridiculous and ludicrous mean? Aren't the words obscene and alarming a little bit more appropriate here? Cigarettes kill 67% of those who use them. Why are we allowing tobacco pimps to dictate health policy? Allowing Casey Costello to be the Associate Minister of Health is like making Donald Trump a professor of feminist studies.